Uh, Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's open your student book, the lesson number 14. Listen to the audio. After listening it, including the mini conversations, please do the conversation practice. We have 11 questions, and I would like you to discuss some of these questions when you think that they are possible to discuss. But thanks. Here on page 102, lesson 14, do the exercises. Use the right word or expression. I think that's the king's oldest son, Prince Jim. In this exercise B, use the picture to tell about some of the things you will do or will have to do if you live on a farm. In some cases, use would, meaning used to. For example, I think that I will have to build another house because this one is very small. Thank you. Okay, let's see. The next exercise is this one. Develop your skills. I also recommend you, before doing the exercises, read the grammar summary. Why? Because the exercises are about these grammar notes. Ask and answer, use your book, chart number 7. Chart number 7 is this one, utopia. In this vocabulary, you can find this vocabulary, some of them here, and some of the other ones here, especially here on page number 86, lesson 12. You can find the new words and listen. What did they used to do with the fruit? They'll sell it at the market. Another one. What did the farmers used to do with the wheat? Because the number 1 here in the cue book is wheat. And so the answer, they're exported to all over the world. Exercise B. Make sentences saying you expected these things to happen. Use cue book chart number 3. Start with those 9 to complain about the price of our equipment. Look, those farmers will complain about the price of our equipment. I'm going to do the number 1. And, well, do you remember the occupations, no? Like repairman, plumber, computer programmer, soldier, sailor, tour guide, etc. So, for example, the number 1. Those, in plural please, those fishermen will sell us bad fish. Because you are using will, eliminate this too. Let me repeat. Those fishermen will sell us bad fish. And then just go with the rest. Thank you very much. Here we have the exercise C. Use cue book chart number 1. Right here it is. In which picture are the people saying or thinking these things? For example, I wish they'll put the prices on is the number 19. But for example, another example, please. I wish he'll let us play with them. Who is or who was saying this? Who? Let me see. It's going is that please write the number here. Thank you. Let's do the reading. Before answering the questions, read, please. Listen to me, children. I wish you knew how lucky you are. Things were very different when I was young. In those days, couples weren't allowed to go out alone or even sit inside the house without a chaperone. There will always be a younger sister or an aunt to watch us. And whenever we had a date, it was a family event. My mother would bake her special apple cake, and sometimes she'll even roast a turkey. I'll give my younger brothers and sisters their weekly bath, and my father will put on his best suit for the occasion. My mother loved it, and it was a good opportunity to dress up. And my father did too, because he would have someone willing to listen to his stories and laugh at his jokes. My brothers and sisters will look forward to it as a great event because they could go to bed late. But I used to hate it. After all, it was my date and not my family's. I remember the first time someone came to see me. He was an army officer and the son of a good friend of my father's, but a stranger to all of us. When my mother opened the door, he kissed her hand, gave her a box of chocolates, and said, "You look lovely, my dear." He thought it was me. You see, in those days people got married very young, so my mother wasn't even 40 yet, and she was especially pretty. Of course, my mother was delighted, but the young officer was terribly embarrassed. After that, he met the family and went into the living room. I remember he was very good looking. He looked like a prince in that uniform. He smiled at me and sat down. As he did, the seat of his pants tore with a terribly loud noise. He became bright red, apologized, and walked out of the room backward. I never saw him again after that. Poor man. We laughed about it for years. Whenever a young man came to visit me, my mother would ask me if I thought she would ask him to sit down or if it would be safer to let him stand up the whole time. Do about the reading. Thank you. Look, lesson number 14, give long answers and when it's possible discuss the questions. What weren't you allowed to do in your house when you were a child? Well, I wasn't allowed to go out at night because when I was living in Kisara, we didn't have electricity, so the nights were dark and mysterious. So my mother always asked us to go in the house about 6 p.m. And please, when you are doing the questions, and if you have the opportunity, ask more questions. For example, how old were you? Okay, I think that I was about 5 or 6 years old. Were you alone outside playing? No, I was playing with my cousins. Thank you. What? Okay, let's go. Lesson number 14. Part 1. Sweet dreams. This conversation is going to be about sleeping habits. Do you need to sleep a lot? Oh, yes, I really would like to be sleeping more than 10 hours. I can't sleep if there's a light in my room. Do you? I can't either. I really need to have a dark bedroom. Otherwise, I need to stand up and dark the room. So, as I did, I want you to do the same. Discuss the questions because you are doing the book number 3 and it's time for you not only to question and answer. Please try to start a conversation. If there is a question that calls you the attention, come on, do it and start a conversation discussing that. Thanks. Part 2. I might do that. Might is more formal than can. Interview a classmate. If you find out something interesting, continue the conversation. Can you think of something you might do next year? Yes. I think that I might travel by plane the next year because this horrible pandemic maybe is going to be under control. Can you think of something you will probably never do in your life? Yes, I think that I won't probably use drugs in my life because I am really scared about drugs, especially cocaine, heroin, all these kind of injections and pills. Thank you. Part 3. Which is better? Discuss the questions. Give reasons for your answers. Which is better? To have a digital camera or a regular camera? Which is better? To shop online or in a store? Correct it here, please. Or. Which is better? To have a cell phone or a regular phone? A regular phone, I mean to have a home telephone. Which is better? To leave a message with a person or on a voicemail? In my personal opinion, I think it's better to have a digital camera because the megapixels are higher than a regular camera, so you are going to take more beautiful pictures and the colors and everything is going to be so real. Thanks. Part 4. All about home. Discuss the questions. What's your favorite room at home? What do you like about it? Well, my favorite room at home or in my house is my bedroom because it's there when I stay alone, and sometimes I like to stay alone and to think about some things and to make decisions. Also, I like to watch TV, to read, or to take my cellular phone and start chatting with my friends. Sometimes I eat my dinner or some snacks during the week in my bedroom. That is my favorite room in my house. Do the same way, discussing them. Thanks. Okay. Maybe you are thinking that this exercise is very easy, but I think it is a perfect review. Um, when you are going to ask a question to your partner, I need you to analyze the meaning of this auxiliary verbs. Look. And then let's think that, for example, Dylan is working with Hazel. So Dylan is going to ask 5 questions to Hazel using this can. Please change the subject, the verb, and the complement. For example, I can say, Hazel, can your mother ride a bike? Yes, she can ride a bike. And then the opposite. Remember, 5 questions each student. Thank you. I am still in the questions book. Look for this grammar practice verbal tenses on page number 1. Could, couldn't. Analyze the meanings. Could you buy me some? Could you buy me some snacks? No, I couldn't. Why? Well, because I don't have any money, but maybe tomorrow. Thank you. Page number 2, the number 3 is would, wouldn't. Look at this. Also for offerings. Would you like to have a fruit for dessert? No, I wouldn't like to have a fruit for dessert because I don't often eat fruit. Well, sometimes, I don't know, 2, 3 times per week. But I think that I'll prefer a delicious vanilla ice cream for dessert. Thank you. The number 4 is may not. Can you see this? Expressing a possibility, permission, or an opportunity that can or cannot be possible. May I use your cellular phone? It's because I need to call my mom and my telephone ran out of charging. Yes, I may. Are you going to take so long calling your mom? No, no, no. I just need to tell my mom that I will be at home in 5 minutes. Oh, okay. Take my phone because it's also getting without charging in just a few minutes. Thank you. The number 5, that is might or might not, in this case is expressing possibility. Possibility. Look. Right here it is. So, when you are asking the questions, analyze the example. Might it rain tomorrow morning? Is a reduced possibility. Maybe yes, maybe not. Might it rain this afternoon? Yes, it might rain this afternoon because we are having the rainy season, and it means that we have rainings almost every afternoon, and that's why we are having a lot of floodings and problems in different towns. People who are living just next to the rivers and other places, they have to be evacuated, etc. Thank you. Here, page number 3, should, shouldn't. Look at this. And it expresses a probability or forgiving a suggestion or an advice. Should we go to the river tomorrow in the afternoon? No, 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 no. No, no, no. You should not or you shouldn't. Because we are having the rainy season and a head of water is possible to come just in a few seconds, same thing. You can die. Thank you. Okay, here is the number 6. Has to, have to, doesn't, or don't have to. Look at this. But especially here. Expressing exactly here. Does Maria have to go to the supermarket? Yes, she has to go to the supermarket because there's nothing in the refrigerator and we need to buy groceries. Really? And what kind of groceries do you usually buy? Okay, we buy all kind of vegetables, for example, tomatoes, lettuce, carrots, beans, celery, etc., and some fruits. So my idea is this, that you go speaking and remember 5 questions each one. Thank you. The number 7, must, um, expresses a strong obligation or necessity. Must you call the police if a robbery is happening? Yes, you must call the police, but be careful because if you are going to be involved in the situation, maybe the robber can kill you. Thanks. Number 8, mustn't. Look at this. Forbidden, forbidden, prohibition. But in this case, do not ask questions, just sentences. Look at the example. You mustn't smoke in this room. You mustn't go to the supermarket without a face mask. Thanks. Okay, for the next week, let me remember you. Please take the homeworks to PCOROSI and also pick up some exams that are already checked. Lesson 12 for the next Friday. Talk about Costa Rica. In this part, I don't want you to answer me, I don't know. So please investigate about this. Population, about 5 million people. Size, 54,500 square kilometers. Weather, the weather in Costa Rica is changeable. We have the rainy season and the rainy season and the dry season. Languages spoken. The official language is Spanish, but a lot of people speak English and other languages. What is produced or grown? What is imported or exported? What is the largest city? I am speaking about territory. The largest city in Costa Rica is Punta Arenas. Why Costa Rica is famous? 2 problems almost without solutions. What problems do we have in Costa Rica almost without any solution? Some remarkable, important, extraordinary places. For example, the number 1 is the ruins in Cartago. And some important events that have happened in our country. What happened in our country? Well, that Mr. Figueres got the Nobel Prize and Claudia Paul went to the Olympics and she won a gold medal. So, investigate a little bit about talking about our country. From the lesson number 13, here, use. If I were you, I would. I need you to use here would. For example, what would you say to someone who smokes too much? The answer. If I were you, I would stop smoking because it produces cancer and also is horrible the smell. Do you understand, my dear friends? Well, thank you very much. Excuse me, for another lesson. If you have any questions about the thesis, please just send me a message. Have a nice weekend. Sorry, I made a mistake because the first test for the next week is the lecture exam. And about the questions, it's going to be for the following week on October 9th. Thanks.